Hi kids, it's Mrs. Desjardins, and we're going to do our read aloud. Now this book is called Swimmy. It's part of our pet study. Now, Swimmy is a little black fish that lives in the sea with his brothers and sisters. One bad day, a big tuna comes and swallows all of Swimmy's family. Isn't that sad? Swimmy gets away, but he is scared, sad, and lonely without his brothers and sisters. Swimmy sees so many interesting sea creatures on his new journey, but what will he do if he runs into other big fish? I need you to think about that. And how will Swimmy stay safe now that he is alone? So, let's see what happens. Okay, now Swimmy. Now, this is the front cover. This is the back cover. This is the spine. Remember, our title is Swimmy, and we have one name here on the cover. It says by Leo Leone. Now, when there's one name, that is the author and the illustrator. So he wrote the words and also drew the pictures. Okay. Swimmy. Let's turn so you can see. A happy school of little fish lived in a corner of the sea somewhere. They were all red. Only one of them was as black as a mussel shell. He swam faster than his brothers and sisters. His name was Swimmy. See him? He stands out among all the others because they're all red and he's not. One bad day, a tuna fish, swift and fierce and very hungry, came darting through the waves. In one gulp, he swallowed all the little red fish. Only Swimmy escaped. He swam away in the deep, wet world. He was scared, lonely, and very sad. But the sea was full of wonderful creatures, and as he swam from marvel to marvel, Swimmy was happy again. He saw a Medusa made of rainbow jelly. Now, what's that? It's really fascinating looking, isn't it? That is called a jellyfish. A lobster who walked about like a water-moving machine. Strange fish pulled by an invisible thread. What could that be? A forest of seaweeds growing from sugar candy rocks. Pretty. An eel whose tail was almost too far away to remember. They're quite big. And sea anemone. It's a tough word. Try to say anemone. Who look like pink palm trees swaying in the wind. Then, hidden in the dark shade of rocks and weeds, he saw a school of little fish, just like his own. Let's go and swim and play and see things, he said happily. We can't, said the little red fish. The big fish will eat us all. But you can't just lie there, said Swimmy. We must think of something. Swimmy thought and thought and thought. Then suddenly he said, I have it. We are going to swim all together like the biggest fish in the sea. He taught them to swim close together, each in his own place. Look at that. And when they had learned to swim like one giant fish, he said, I'll be the eye. See, all those are little fish, and Swimmy is right there. It does. It looks like he's the eye. And so they swam in the cool morning water and in the midday sun and chased the big fish away. Isn't that a good book? I like that book. Now let's see here. There's some words I need to teach you. Now, a school of fish, that's what they call a big group of fish swimming together. So when you see a whole bunch of fish moving together like that, that's what they're called, a school of fish. Now, how about swift? Swift means very, very fast. How about fierce? Well, think of a lion. Big lion. They're fierce. Darting, it's like moving quickly back and forth. Marvel. Marvel is something that is really fascinating to see. Now, if you saw something like this in the sea, that would be a marvel. Medusa, well, that's a little harder to describe. That's something from Greek mythology. You'll learn about that way later in school, probably in high school. But kind of looked like this upside down. She had hair that would stand up like that. But you'll learn more about that later. Invisible, well, invisible is something you just cannot see. Escape. I think you know what escape means. That means to, if you're stuck somewhere and you can get away, then you escape. Now, a sea anemone, that'd be really something to see if you saw the movie Finding Nemo. That's a really good description of a sea anemone, but that's kind of what they look like right there, these things right here. And gulp. Well, if you swallow a lot of water quickly, well, like that. That's what gulp is. So, what we learned in the book was Swimmy swims faster than all of his brothers and sisters, and he must feel very proud that he can swim so fast. Swimmy's very scared and sad after his family is eaten, and it must have been very hard for him to go on and swim on his own, don't you think? And Swimmy sees a lot of different creatures in the sea that he has never seen before. He's very good at noticing what makes them special, what they look like, and how they move. And then Swimmy sees a school of fish just like his own, didn't he? See that part where he's swimming along and he sees the school that look just like his brothers and sisters. So don't you think that he's very happy to see them and he won't be alone anymore? Now, one thing I want you to think about, Swimmy was black and his brothers and sisters were red. So do you think it was harder for the tuna to see him? Maybe. If it's dark down under the water, maybe it was harder for him to see, and that's why, or harder for the tuna to see him. That's why he got away. So maybe his color helped him avoid to get eaten. And what do you think Swimmy tells the new school of fish hiding in the rocks that they need to go swim and play and see things? To think about those things. And I hope you enjoyed our story today. I'll be back later and we'll do another story. Bye, guys.